Hello, hello. My name's Sandrin Stone. I'm going to be doing a quick Dojo guide on supercarrier ratting for the Dojo 6th birthday. Dojo's turned 6 today, and we're doing a Dojo fundraiser, as you've probably heard about on Slack and all the other Dojo places. We've got various stretch goals, such as I believe there is a funded cap brawl, cap roam actually, as one of the later checkpoints. I'm doing my part. I've already donated some ISK, and I'm going to show you how to make some ISK to donate. So, supercarrier ratting is a pretty endgame activity. Just the hull alone for a super is typically around 11 bill, but they can pay themselves off very, very quickly when you super rat. You're looking at between 300 to 400 mil an hour, like depending on your skills, and if you get escalations or domination spawns in Angel Space, so faction spawns, those can increase your ticks quite significantly. There's also dreadnoughts that can spawn, which will give you a 60 mil tick very quickly. So what you need to make sure you have is, first of all, obviously a super. In Brave we largely use shield, but you are allowed to use armor supers if you want. Just don't expect much armor logi. So I have a Hell, which is preferred over the Wyvern for ratting because of the roll bonuses of a Hell. As you can see, they get 10% fighter damage, whereas a Wyvern only gets 5, and they get 5% fighter velocity per Minmatar carrier level, which is a trait that the Wyvern does not get at all. What you need to have is, in your fighter loadout... Oh my god, missed him. You may hear some Slack pings every now and then. Those are mine. We want to have 2 flights of light fighters for Angel Space. This is 2 sets of Einherjes. And then you want 3 sets of heavy fighters, in this case Gungnir 1s. I don't have T2 fighters trained yet. That's what I'm currently training. But it's a long train, so that will impact my ticks a little bit, but I'm just going to show you my methodology for super ratting, and you should get good ticks. I'll show you good practice. I'm not going to be able to show you my fit, because that's a little bit OPSEC. If you need advice on a fit, feel free to message me, but I'm not going to be giving up my personal fit. As you can see, I have a civilian Gatling gun, and civilian mining laser, of course. I'm also in Jita, by the way. So the main thing about super ratting is you need to be safe. So, typically, in Brave, we prefer if you do it within the impasse pocket. Right now I'm in PZMA, as you can see by there being a keep star here. But, our pocket, the systems that we refer to as our pocket, start from NTAC 7, 4M, TWJ, PZMA, 442, 9ZFH, and ZTAC N. The further into the pocket you get, the more warning that you have for if someone is coming into the pocket to hunt you. So, another thing worth noticing is the security status of systems. Typically, the easiest way to think about it is the lower the better. Right now, I'm in a 0.5 system, which is not as good as these 3 systems. These 3 systems are all in the same group and have the same amount of havens, which is what you want to run in a super, in case you didn't already know. Whereas PZMA has 1 less than these 3 systems. So ideally, one of these 3, but they may be occupied. So it's worth joining the call-out channels for the various systems and figuring out which one's empty, because that'll impede your ticks if you run out of sites to run. There are more and more pings of people noticing I have not muted Slack, so I'm going to quickly mute Slack if you just give me a minute. Right, so I'm going to quickly just hide my screen so that I can jump to a system, start writing there, and maintain some level of OPSEC. Don't worry that the screen is black, it'll be back in a second. God, there's a lot of structures in this system. I need a second thing to cover up. Just warping to a random structure. Sorry about all my sniffling. I've got allergies that are acting up today, but... Right. Too lazy to cover up this little section of my screen, so screw it. Everyone knows where I am. Come get me if you want. Definitely don't have anything waiting to kill you if you do try and come. Alright, so first thing that you want to do is you want to hide all of the enums that you don't want to be running, so that anything other than havens and sanctums is pretty much a waste of your time in a super. You can... The reason that these are preferred is because there's a large amount of battleships, and they give you 10-10 escalations, which are the most valuable escalations to sell. On top of that, there are two types of haven. There are the gas havens, which have a lot of smaller ships, which will kill your fighters and also provide less bounty than the battleships. So you want to filter out those gas havens. The way you do that is you pretend you're going to warp to a site, then immediately cancel the warp with control space. If there's no pop-up, that means there's a gas haven. So after that, next site. That one's also not also a gas haven. Warp to it, cancel the warp. That one's a rock haven, so we want to go to one of those. So we just want to filter out all the gas havens, because every rock haven you clear will respawn another rock haven. So once you've filtered out all the gas havens, you know that all the havens that are popping up are good. Those are the ones that you want to be running. Right, so this last one has to be a gas haven. Right, activating all my modules. You can't see what they are, but they're there. So I'm going to do 2 ticks on this stream. The first one is going to be with an NSA, and then the second one is going to be with sensor boosters. The sensor boosters is significantly safer than an NSA, but will reduce your ticks, so it's up to your personal preference. I'm going to be showing both just to give a good example. Right, so first of all, I'm going to align to one of the closer havens. Doesn't particularly matter, but it's slightly better for your ticks. Gotta go into the call out channel and call out which site I'm going to. And I'm gonna warp to it at 20. It's worth noting I'm also using a high grade ascendancy pod, which means my warp speed is significantly faster, so I can bounce between sites even faster. My super is actually faster than most cruisers in terms of travel. Right, so as we land on the site, we want to select the gate, select all of our fighters, launch our fighters, and have them orbit the gate. You want to make sure that you have your tactical overlay on, because when you bomb the last wave, this is very helpful. I will show you how that's done when we get to the last wave. As with the normal carrier ratting, you want to make sure that your fighters are constantly moving so that the rats don't hit them. because that's how you lose a lot of fighters, which can damage your ticks pretty badly. But here, pulse my NSA as the first wave is about to spawn. There's a message in chat saying that they've all spawned. Lock up the entire first wave, and then assign fighters to everything. So I put my 2 light fighters on the smaller ships in the wave, and leave my heavy fighters on the bigger ships as they apply better. Use your missile salvos as you please. You largely want to aim to have none left when you finish the site, but it doesn't particularly matter, it just is a slight optimization thing that you can do. So, no small things left, so put the light fighters on the remaining battleships. Oh, accidentally shot the gate. Orbit the gate, lock everything up again. Heavy fighters on the battleships. You also want to, unlike with carrier acting, you want to be using your missile salvos on the frigates, because you want to make sure that your heavy fighters are always shooting battleships, preferably, and that means sometimes that you have to use your rocket salvos just to get rid of the frigates faster. So here we've got pretty well timed. Everything is dying at the same pace, so the frigate's only left for a second longer after the last battleship is dead. A lot of super acting is just you focus on what you find comfortable. So I have my keybind set up a certain way that I found is best for me. So I have select next target and bound to a key that I can press quite quickly. So I just press this button and it goes through all my targets, which lets me assign my fighters quite quickly. But oh my god, Niston is talking in local. I believe he's stealing my ticks, which if he does, he will be getting complianced. But yeah, just keep clearing every wave. It's largely the same as normal carrier acting up until the last wave, and obviously you're a lot faster. So, light fighters on the frigates. The rough pace that you should be looking for when it comes to clearing sites is about 6 minutes per site, which should mean about 3 sites per tick. A little bit more, a little bit less, depending on warp speed, how close the sites are, and everything. And for me, that leaves me with 90 to 100 mil ticks, which is fairly good for T1 fighters, but depends on your skills, depends on your practice, depends if you screw up bombing the last wave. So when you see cruiser spawn, that means you're on the wave before the last wave. Heavy fighters apply quite poorly to the cruisers, so I'd like to use a lot of missile salvos here to clear them with my light fighters. And when I get to the end of the wave, I will pause for a second just to set up the bombing run on the last wave. Make sure I cycle my NSA here one last time, and this will cover me for the last wave as well. Right, put my heavy fighters on the last remaining cruiser. And then set everything to orbit the gate at 30k. Press F3 for my bomb, align it with this point for the gate, and then target down to the gate, and it should land pretty much perfectly in the center of that blob of mobs. Lock up all the battleships, assign my heavy fighters to them. Here you can see the bombs going in, let's watch that. Put my light fighters in a little bit later because they go quite close and can get hit by the bombs. And then all the battle cruisers are dead. At this point we want them aligned to our next site. Finish clearing the site. I will now pull my light fighters, use the MWDs to pull them faster. This time aligning to the next site. Getting even more pings. I know I'm sniffling. I have allergies. Right, walk to the next site at 20. We will leave our heavy fighters here because they take quite a while to pull back to our super. So what we do is then when we land on the next site, we will recall our fighters, and then they will warp to us. Since they have one bomb left each, we don't actually need to pull them in, but we just need to bring them to the correct site. So select all of our fighters, pull the heavies, launch the lights, look up the gate again. So with the bombing run, I was talking about this little dot here. For the first aligning section, you align it twice, you click there, and then on this little marker for the pirate gate here. So here we can see heavy fighters arrived, so tell everything to orbit the gate again. Right, the first wave is spawned. Lock everything up. Don't know why it does this. Sometimes it puts them at the bottom of your overview rather than at the top. So last site we did quite poorly with the missiles. I was focusing more on talking than anything else. I want to make sure that we have 0 missiles. Oh my god. I want to make sure we have 0 missiles when the site is done. Of course it was Niston putting a bounty on me again. I'm ratting in a system that if you're a good spy you would have already noticed where I am, but whoever that is asking in chat, you're clearly not a very good spy. I hate to tell you that. So, heavy fighters on the battleships, light fighters on the small stuff, missile salvos to kill the small stuff faster. It's worth noting that in a supercarrier you can only dock in keep stars, which means in our pocket the only system that you can dock up is in PZMA. So if you get into trouble, that's the system you have to jump to. You can't just warp off to a structure and dock up or anything like you can in a Rourke. You do have to jump to PZMA and dock up there. Open the gate again, lock everything up. Right. Whoever that is in chat, I have a feeling that it's Folder making fun of me for losing X-Gavs repeatedly, but whoever you are, I love you, but I hate you at the same time. Please donate to the dojo. It's the dojo's 6th birthday, just like it's Fearviner's birthday today. Everyone should ping him on Slack and wish him a happy birthday. I just realised that it didn't lock up half the wave. Right. That'll have ruined my tick a little bit there, but it's just a demonstration anyway. I don't know anyone who's called Tom. I have a feeling it's someone in my corp if they're making fun of me for losing X-Gavs, because I don't tell many people about my prolific losing of X-Gavs. It's probably Insanity. Insanity loaned me 2 X-Gavs. Insanity's a babe. Right, we're on the wave for the last. So, same thing as last time. And I know who that is, talking about screwing over Vass. I'm playing beautiful Korean music Fuel, and I'm trying to resist the urge to sing along. Please don't make fun of me if I do sing along. Please no bully. This is a bully-free zone. Right, so orbit the gate at 30. Red cycle the guns quickly. Just so I'm going to show you how to properly set up a bombing wave. Target this little dot here, align it to the gate, shoot the rat, wait for the bombs to be launched. Oh my god, there's a rat I forgot about. This might get ruined. Yeah, the bombing wave isn't going to hit anything. Oh? Oh yeah, it didn't hit anything. Oh no, it did, it just didn't hit everything, okay. I'm a bad, don't copy me. This is a bad guide. Even more bounties being placed on me. I'm very popular. I feel very loved. Someone is shelling in the chat that Vass will get unbanned at 200 bill donated to the dojo. I'm about to sell my super and go donate 200 bill to the dojo. I implore everyone else to do the same thing. So once again, we're online to our next site. Right, so now we pull our fighters. We actually do need to pull our heavy fighters this time around because they ran out of bombs, and we want them for the last wave of the next site. Waiting for the last fighter. Pandaren warrior. I'm going to assume that's the spoopy guy who has a Pandaren female as his profile picture on Slack, and I know who Tom is now because he's talking about squirrels. I'm not going to say who it is in case he doesn't want to know, but it's not hard to guess. Right, so as we can see here, our fighters are refueling, so they're restocking their bombs. Wait a moment before we launch them. Launch fighters, up the gate. Pulsar NSA. Lock up the wave. Obviously the entire time I'm keeping a close eye on intel. If anything scary shows up, I'm going to be either jumping out or warping off, depending on the level of danger. Oh, next time you shooting the gate. Over the gate, lock up everything. Did you hear that, guys? The song says to love the sun and the moon. It should end that feud in Slack. 100% BTFO by Dean. Super acting is one of those things where once you've got a little bit of practice with it, it becomes almost second nature. You don't have to think about what you're doing. Just kind of autopilot your way through it. Lock up everything. The last wave again. Wave before last. Average ticks for me with T1 fighters is around 90 to 100 mil, depending on how I do. This is probably going to be closer to 90 because I've screwed up a few times, just trying to demonstrate. So what we're going to do here is... Do I not have a safe in 90? Okay, I'll align to random structure. Right. Fighters, orbit the gate at 30. Line up the bomb here, down to here. Shoot the last rat, pause my NSA. Bombs are launched, lock up all the battleships. Oh. There we go, there's an actual successful bombing run. There's a... All the battle cruisers are dead. I'm going to warp to the random structure that I chose, and then I'm going to quickly refit to SIBOs, and then I'll show you how to use SIBOs. I'm most decidedly very unsafe right now for the person in chat. I am streaming exactly what I'm doing, showing the system name, and I'm using an NSA, which is even worse. So, pull my fighters. Oh, I didn't know. Ugh. Didn't think it was 50 km. I thought it was just 10. So, I've got to walk to another structure. You can come scram me if you want, Jensen. There we go. That was only a 90 mil tick because of the couple of screw ups. There's 10% taken off by co-op tax, but it was a 90 mil tick pre-tax. Got 1.5 from Nista. Did he steal part of my tick? I'm assuming Nista stole part of my tick. Right. So. Drop my mobile depot because I still haven't bought a Nesta because I'm bad. I'm gonna wait for it to anchor. What's a bit for this? As we can see down here, this is closer to the usual ticks. Actually, no, those are quite bad, but they got 100 mil from Sungan escalation to Avenor. You should watch Paul's guide on how to sell escalations after the bookmark changes. But here's closest to the usual ticks. Alright, he's shooting at me. Damn it, Jensen. He's neuting me out, boys. I'm going down. Who else is joining in? Nistum, of course. Well, there goes my fit. There goes me trying to keep that a secret. Who cares? Come tackle me if you want. So, take off the extenders and put on Debo's scan res. Take off the NSA. Put on. What do I usually put on? The new. Right, so then we'll pick up the mobile depot and align to a site. If you're not careful, Jensen, I will shoot you. You didn't even say NPSI in local. What are you doing? You're setting a bad example for the new bros. Oh, you're webbing me into warp. What a babe. So the benefits of using SIBOs over using an NSA are, since the recent, well, not quite recent, but since changes to the NSA, you are now locked to grid whilst your NSA is active. So you can't warp off. You can move, but you can't warp off or jump out for a whole minute every time you pulse it. It does still give you very good scan res, but you can get fairly comparable ticks with sensor boosters instead. But if you want to go for max ticks, then you use an NSA. It is slightly less safe. A lot of people don't recommend it, but what's the point in buying a spaceship if you don't want it to die eventually? Lock up the whole wave. You can see the lock times are slightly longer using this, but it's not slow. It's very much the same thing. I'm just doing a second tick just to show you what it's like with with sensor pieces instead of an NSA. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep shilling that it's the dojo's birthday and you should donate all your ESIC to it. Because it's a great learning tool for new bros, and it's helped me out a lot. So the main advantage of having SIBOs is obviously, if anything happens, pretty much any threat arrives that I'm worried about, I can immediately just right click, jump to, go to PZMA, and I'm fine. I'm on a keep star grid. If they tackle me on a keep star grid, I wish them luck. But yeah. If someone rage rolls into the system, I can immediately jump out. If hostile that's safe logged in the system shows up, then I can immediately jump out. There's a lot of things that you can do where you can just bail immediately, even in a worst case scenario. That's very rude of you, Jensen, making fun of me. I'm telling Papa Shattered to take away your tags. Of course I told everyone where I'd done. I'm going to PCMA, where else do you think I would go? If they want to fight me on a Keepstar grid, they can fight me on a Keepstar grid. I wish them luck. Oh, shooting the gate. What if I be contracted? Aw, Fluffy. I love you, Fluffy. You're a good friend. See the lovely helping spirit within Brave. Everyone gives each other free nesters just because they're too lazy to get one on their own. The reason you use a nester, by the way, is without it has a fitting service, so you don't need to drop on a mobile depot to refit. You can just immediately drop the nester, refit, and then scoop the nester, rather than having to wait a minute for it to anchor. So you put that in your ship maintenance array, you eject it, refit, and then scoop it again. Right, orbit at 30. Look for the marker of the gate again. Orbit the gate at 30 again, just to make sure my fighters don't get caught by the bombs. Lock up all the battleships. Go. Start aligning to our next site. You actually don't need to fit the nester at all, because unless someone is piloting it, all the modules are considered offline, so it doesn't matter how it's fit. It'll die the same. You could obviously, if you really wanted to, you could refit it for combat, so that if for whatever reason you need to eject it for someone to use, and they can do that, but if you're just using it for refits, you don't need to. Right, then we warp to our next site, put it in the call out channel. the main time that you'll notice the difference between an NSA and SIBOs is when you're locking up the frigates. The lock time is, I think, almost tripled with SIBOs, even though I'm using faction ones. The hell skin is, I believe, the Hunter's Quiver one. I'm not going to open my fit again because I'm meant to be keeping that private. God knows I'm very bad at it, but I am. I'm afraid of who KVK1 is. I think I know who it is just by the fact that they're immediately making fun of me. But yeah. I'm pretty sure I know who this is. I'm really resisting the urge to sing. I have to save that for karaoke night, which I think I'm going to be doing next weekend because I keep putting it off. But yeah, it'll probably be next weekend. Look out for the ping. That was one of the Dojo donation stretch goals, which is another quick time for me to promote the Dojo. You should donate to the Dojo. It's a great learning tool for new bros such as myself who are clearly very bad at the game and need all the assistance that they can get. Again, we're on the wave before the last, so we need to remember to set up for a bombing run at the end of this wave. I am looking out for faction spawns, Miha. I usually get them. I normally just forget to loot them afterwards. I always bookmark them and then forget. Line to our next site again. Talking about skins in chat now. Ideally, if I could pick any skin I wanted, it'd be the what's it called? The Headhunter skin. I was gonna buy it when it went on sale a few weeks ago, but I put it off until the day after it stopped being on sale. Like an idiot. Can I really not hide this section? Okay. This is the skin I want, but I put it off too long. So this will be the last site that we're running, and then I'll just compare the ticks. If you have any questions, put them in chat now. What's this? Mister, why? Why are you being so nice? Why are people being nice to me? I love you, Nistum. You're a good friend. Nistum, how bloody rich are you with how much you bling your ships and just giving me a skin? You best have donated to the dojo as well. Oh god. Let's put on our new skin, boys. Oh, I can't do it whilst my modules are on. Quick! This is gonna ruin my tick, but we've got to do it for the fashion. Well, let me change it. God damn it. Who cares? I will show it after I'm finished with the site. Aren't you a wormholer, Pandaran warrior? You can't talk about being rich when you're a wormholer. You get super ticks in subcaps. I'm honestly surprised nobody has even attempted to come and tackle me at this point. Intel's been very quiet despite me literally streaming that I'm super ratting it. Yeah, you can see the tick is significantly lower with sensor boosters, whereas previously, where the hell's it gone? There. Load it. Obviously I have more practice with an NSA, so my ticks should be slightly better by default, but my ticks are significantly worse with a sensor booster versus an NSA. But it is a lot safer with the sensor booster, so most people do prefer it. But it's up to you which one you prefer, safety or ticks. I am live by the ticks, die by the ticks, man. I bought this ship in expectance of it blowing up, and if it doesn't blow up by the end of the year, I'll be very sad because I wasted it. So you got a month to kill me. Shut up, mister. Don't make fun of me. And bomb. Bombs are launched. Last wave is here. Lock everything up. Pew pew pew. Clear the last rat. Then we pull our fighters. And we'll go show off our new skin. Obviously we're going to look away from the sun because that's just honestly disgusting. Bam! Look at it! Look at how cool it is. Look at that spooky little skull. Look at this. Look how cool I look. Thank you, mister. Thank you. And then, of course, how much did we make? Started with 1.8. We made about 150 mil. So, personal people and places. The Brave Dojo. Corporations. Give money. 150 mil. Bank picks. Donate all your money to the dojo. And now we will jump back to PCMA, inevitably be bubbled on the beacon and die in a horrible ball of fire. And we can dock up the Keepstar. Once again, if you have any questions regarding super ratting or fitting your super or anything like that, feel free to send me a DM and or convo me in game and I can give you some advice. But yeah, please support the dojo. It's Dojo 6th birthday. There'll be a lot of streams going on today from Jinx mostly. It's going to be streaming a strat op later with a delay and obviously not streaming comms, I don't think. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But other than that, thank you for watching.